And it's all over, folks. We're in it now. This is Dan here, and I am speaking with three of the dancers, although one, Ryan, is a little bit disenfranchised or something. We were not able to get his image up. Three dancers of State Street Ballet, and we are on Friday, the 14th of February, and I'm wearing my flowered shirt because guess what, East Coast? It's hot. It's sunny. It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Really. Viva la Palma. I think he said that. Anywho, and I'm with these three wonderful dancers, members of State Street Ballet, Santa Barbara's. I mean, Santa Barbara, a community of a couple 100,000 people, and yet major world orchestras come through this town, major world dance companies. It has a huge dance audience, and it has State Street Ballet, its own professional dance company. I'm talking to three of them. We're getting ready for next weekend, which is the 22nd and 23rd of February at the Lobero Theater in downtown Santa Barbara. A beautiful day trip, even an evening, have dinner and catch the show Saturday night. But a day trip up from Los Angeles. A lot of people watch my little show here. I guess we have to call it a show in the Southern California area. I'm speaking with. Let's see if I can get this right on our screens. How shall I put it? Let's put it by clothing garb. The lady in red is Kate Kadow. Have I pronounced that right? Straighten me out right now.
It's Kadow.
Okay. You know, it's the potato conundrum. I blame it on my time in London. Okay. Kate Kadow, who will be playing in the wonderful production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. We'll talk more. Kate has the great honor of playing the evil queen. And those are always the juiciest parts, presumably in dance as well as theater and all the rest. Ryan, oh God, I'm going to screw up again. There goes someone. Shoot that person back there. Anyway, Ryan Camou is... Hello. Am I messing up the pronunciations again?
That was good.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan Camou is over here. He's the image in white, the ghost-like creature that does not, is in something. We're not in Giselle, but Ryan unfortunately was not able to come up on video for us. So that's Ryan, who will be replying. And then in the middle is our beloved Snow White, Lilit Hogtanian, who will be playing Snow White, and I'm either down or above or something. I mean, anyway, I'm the guy in the floral shirt. And we are looking at this production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, accompanied by all kinds of staff who have to carry on with their work as drawers slam and doors are shut. By the way, they're all down at State Street Ballet Studios, and we're trying to make this work. Anyway, they're preparing for this production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, created by Marina Fliagina, who is the ballet master and choreographer for this show. What is it like to have Marina as your ballet master, and you can't say a thing about her show, right? Somebody's laugh.
Marina's show is excellent. It's a really fun, family-oriented show of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Oh boy, he wins bonus prizes for that. Okay.
It's very theatrical, I must say. I mean, there's a lot of interaction with the animals and the dwarves and Snow White and the evil queen.
Nice,
so
yes.
It's a lot of fun, I would say. It's definitely a family program.
Yeah, this is kind of the Walt Disney production of Snow White. This ain't the Brothers Grimm with all the gruesome sub-basements of meaning.
No, it is not.
So that's good. Lilit, what is it like to...
Sunshine and Flowers.
Say once more.
This is Sunshine and Flowers.
Oh, I see. The Sunshine and Flowers production of Snow White. Okay, good.
There's a little bit of Grimm.
A little bit of Grimm. Go ahead, Lilit. That was Lilit.
Yeah, I think it's pretty scary.
Really?
Thank you. An honor. It's really perspective.
That was a little bit. That was a little bit scrambled. Sometimes this happens on Skype, but the point is, you're saying there is a little bit of scare. Without it, there'd be no fun for kids either. Let's face it. Yeah. Speak to me.
Yeah, and the balance is really classic nature for making all that ballet, girls on playing that kind of thing. Yeah, so it was a really great show for us.
Okay, let me jump in again. Gets a little crazy when there are three people going on here. Kate, would you mind just repeating that a little more slowly and a little closer into the microphone? What you?
Oh yes, sorry, of course. The piece is really classical in nature. I mean, the ballet style is very pure ballet, which is great. It's awesome. The girls are on the point. We really get to work on classical ballet technique and all that.
So if I'm following now, remember I'm the classical music guy. I did have a couple years with a dance company in Seattle, but if I'm following you, this is really a classical technique that Marina is using a bit more. Yeah, so that's a pleasure, is it?
Yes, we're so versatile. We do a lot of different styles here at State Street. All of our dances are really versatile, but this one's pretty, hardcore ballet, so it's really fun for us.
Nice. And how about have any of the three done? This was premiered, I think, in 2007 or something by State Street Ballet. I may not have that year quite right. Any of the three have you performed the piece in the past?
Right. To me speaking, I actually have, yes.
And were you the prince then, or some underling?
I was the prince then, and I'm the prince now.
Yeah. I like that. Power to the prince. Yes.
Exactly. We could keep doing it.
That's great.
No, it's been fun. We've done some changes since 2007. We vamped it up a little bit and make it a little more difficult and adding more children. So we're actually using our trainee group with State Street Ballet. They're going to also be in the ballet. So we're adding more dancers to the show, so it's going to be very exciting.
You know what? I'm going to have to recommend you for an extra perk. Obviously, are you the oldest of the three cast members here in terms of longevity with the company?
Yes, I am.
I thought so. It's something about your princely behavior here. And when did Kate, for example, when did you come on board State Street Ballet?
This is my second season, so I joined for the 2012-2013 season.
Yeah, and so far you're okay with it.
Oh yeah, it's great. Really, it's a wonderful place to work.
And Lilit, how about when did you come on board?
It's also I joined at the same time as Kate. It's my second season.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
and by the way, just to let you guys out there in Southern California who are watching this know, Lilit was just pointing at Kate. Those two are across the room from each other if you look carefully at this. And meanwhile, Ryan is, as I've said ad nauseum, disembodied upstairs somewhere. But we can hear his voice all right, so we're fine.
I'm from Mars. I'm in Mars right now.
Okay, that'll do. Yeah, that'll do.
weather
He's on Mars, like John Carver. Was it John Carver on Mars?
Right. I'm in the costume room of our building.
That's my favorite room,
So
by the
I'm
way.
surrounded by so many fun stuff. I do wish that the camera was working for you to see.
Yeah, rats. Well, we'll catch it another time. And the bottom line is that is a fun room for that reason, the visuals of the costume room. And speaking of costumes, did I interrupt you, Brian? Ryan, excuse me. I keep doing Ryan. I apologize. It's Ryan. Go ahead. Oh, anything? So I didn't interrupt you. Okay, because I was just going to while you were discussing. While we were discussing the costume room, we might as well speak of Christina Giannini, who designed the costumes and I guess some parts of the sets or something. Tell me that story about Snow White and Christina Giannini's involvement. Anybody?
Well, let's see.
Stop. 1 second. I guess I have to play coach. Let's begin with Kate.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear Ryan when I'm talking. But Sika is our beloved costume mistress, and she designs all of our costumes. And she's a designer for this show as well, and she always does a fantastic job. So any costumes we see at State Street, they're usually made by Sika.
Yes. Yeah, and she's a New York City lady, so I mean we're not fooling around when it comes to costume design. Lilit, were you going to say something? Hang on, Lilit is.
a little rough.
It's hard to hear, isn't it? It gets a little confusing. I was just going to ask Lilit if she had anything to say about costumes. How is your Snow White costume, for example?
Oh, it's really cute. It's very classical, very isn't like, the corset, skirt, and a really pretty dress for the second act when she's.
And very kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily Russian folk-like, but certainly Eastern folk costuming in a way, something like that. What's happening? Oh, that must be the train.
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
I can't hear it.
Is that the train, or are we having a bomb attack? What's that?
I can't hear it.
Sounds like there's a train.
Now it's stopped.
Yeah.
Now it's stopping. Okay. Hey, well, Hollywood. What can I say? It's how it goes. What was I going to say? Can somebody give me a little overview? Let's ask because Ryan is totally with the message here. So, but I'd rather have Kate or Lilit give us all a little overview of this story as it is transmogrified into dance. By Marina Fliagina. How does this story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs work? How does it progress? How about Lilit? Can you give me a little overview?
Yeah, well, the first scene opens, and actually there's narration, and it opens with, the voice tells the story of Snow White being a child, and her mom passes away, and her father remarries. She's very sad, and then the queen comes in the picture, and the first act, we see Snow White getting her sort of crown taken away, and everything that she's used to in her past life is taken away, and she is left to wearing sort of rags and cleaning, and that's the flower scene. And then she meets her prince, and they fall in love, and the queen doesn't approve of this, and she sort of sends both of them away. And then she has her 3 huntsmen, and she sends one of the huntsmen to kill Snow White in the forest. And of course, there's that scene where Snow White's in the forest and he tries to kill her and realizes that he can't and tells her to run away. And then the bats come, and she finally gets to the forest and makes friends with the animals, who then take her to the dwarf's house. And there's this whole dancing section with the animals in the cottage. And then the dwarves come in and meet Snow White, and they let her stay at their house. And Snow White becomes friends with the dwarves, and they all dance. And second act, they go to work. It's pretty close to the Disney version we've all seen. And the witch comes, gives her the apple, she dies. The dwarves are sad, the witch comes, she wakes up, and I don't know, she did a really good job with making the fairy tale come to life. It's very sort of, it's like the book, you open the book and you see it on stage, us dancing it.
Beautifully put. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thanks much. But let's just speak, if you don't mind. You were just talking witch, but I was trying to be discreet and describe Kate as the evil queen. Kate, step in. How good is it to give that young upstart princess a poisoned apple that puts her to sleep for several zillion years?
Wait, I'm sorry, could you say that again? I couldn't hear.
Yeah, sorry, the train's gone by. It just went by my house, too.
Oh.
I was going to say, what was it? I was making a joke, but the point is we got to the apple and everything. What is it like to, I'm calling you the evil queen, I guess, rather than the witch. That's too cool. But how fun is that in terms of dance? How is that? How does help Marina give us that idea of this queen and the seduction of the princess, so to say, to get her to eat the apple that will put her to sleep forever, the evil queen hopes?
My role is so fun because all of my steps are very powerful, and you'll see a sharp contrast between Lilit and her sort of soft and beautiful movements and my really intense and strong sort of way of dancing. And I think Marina did a really good job of showcasing the characters through the various steps in dancing in the show. It's so much fun to play the evil character. I've actually never played an evil character before, and it's so much fun. Every day in rehearsal, we're just having a blast. So.
Yeah, and
yes.
Meanwhile, Ryan, as the
Yes.
male figure in this story, trots on into the forest, tripping around in the forest, sees this girl asleep, and kisses her. What's that about? Speak to me.
Well, let's see. The first time I see her, she's alive and beautiful. So
Oh.
I just fall madly in love with her at first sight. She's in the forest and with the flowers and the gardens and the animals, and she just, stills my heart. And therefore, I will do anything to save her from any harm. And then the witch goes after her, so I have to protect. And the witch already gets to her with the poison apple. In this case, the dwarves get me, and I run through the forest, and I see her, and I'm so heartbroken that I want to give her one last kiss goodbye, but it's a kiss of life, so she comes back to life, and then we all get together in the dwarves and Lilit, and we go after the witches.
Yeah.
So it's the big grand finale fight where Kate and I'm flying Kate through the air and throwing her on the floor, and she's trying to stab me with her dagger. And I finally rip it out of her hand, and I break the mirror so that this horrible witch can die and be done with. And that's Kate and I's relationship on a basis, basically.
I see. Day to
We're
day.
actually very good friends.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. It's just the occasional dagger you have to pull out of the wall. Right?
Oh,
Yeah, I see.
Exactly. She could never be trusted. I mean,
Now let me
no, but that's when it gets really exciting for me personally. Because it's all the anticipation, the buildup of the whole story. We're bringing Lilit back to life, and we're going after the witches. So, just the big grand finale is coming. So that's really exciting for me.
So all those.
Yeah, there's not just me, there's a whole army of witches.
Yeah.
So it's really fun because there's, the dwarves are fighting the witch army. So,
Yeah.
and then Ryan and I battle it out at the end. So
Wow.
it's pretty fun.
I didn't know that bit. That's a little bit above me on the Grimms, the brothers Grimm. But interesting, right? I don't think there's a real confrontation between.
There is also a grim which takes place.
Let me ask this question, and
yeah,
and then we'll
I
wind
don't
it.
think that's in this thing.
Let me ask this last question of all three of you, and I guess we'll start with Kate, because everybody wants to know. I'm a musician since forever and until forever, regardless of whether I can pay rent or not. You know what I'm saying. What is this life like? First of all, and I'm going to start with Kate. I want to ask all three of you this, and try and be brief if you can. But the point is, first of all, when did the light bulb go on that said this is it? Of all the types of expression that I might be wanting to follow, this thing, dance, is it. And then how is life in Santa Barbara? I know that you receive a paycheck, all of you, but it has to be somewhat modest, and it must be difficult. There must be down times. What's the life like? Go ahead, Kate, you first.
Well, to answer your first question, I decided very, very young that I wanted to be a professional ballet dancer. I went away to a special ballet school when I was 8, and I've basically been training professionally, or, to be a professional since that, my whole life. So it's been all that I've known. Dancing in Santa Barbara is an incredible honor. A lot of people get to do what they love. It's a beautiful place. So I feel really lucky.
The downtime, we do have some, but it's good for our bodies to kind of recover, and we also kind of use our talents to find other work outside. Ryan and I just shot a music video for our Christmas vacation, so that was really fun for us. And one of the dancers has organized a great outreach program with the library, and we're going to be collaborating with the high school and sort of doing a lot of outreach here in Santa Barbara. So that's great, and we kind of fill up off time with that.
It's just sweet, a town this size to have a professional dance company. It's just really extraordinary. And I know Rodney Gustafson breaks his buns to get lots of engagements all over the country, and you're really picking up a reputation as a company around the United States, and so it's all good. Now, Lilit, how about your thing? What was it when was the moment that you said this is it?
I was probably 6 years old. Yeah, I was 6 years old, and took my ballet class and decided right there and then that
You know, let me just interrupt. It's a little hard. We're having some trouble with audio, but I think, let me just kind of paraphrase. Again, as with everyone I speak to, you began dance at age 6, something like that. Very, very young is when these kind of decisions are really made by people who pursue the profession. Were you living in this country at the time, Lilit?
No, I went to Monaco for 3 years to study at Princess Grace Academy. So that was a switch.
Yeah.
From language to discipline. You couldn't do what you wanted whenever you wanted. You had to follow a strict schedule. But it was incredible.
Yeah, in retrospect, that's a good thing, that kind of discipline, yeah?
Yeah.
See, now I hear you perfectly well. It's just one of those things. Sometimes the airwaves work. Ryan, give me your tale.
All right, my fairy tale is I started dancing when I was about 8 years old. And the first professional ballet company that I've ever seen was San Francisco Ballet. And I got a scholarship to their summer program when I was 13 years old. And that was when I saw real professional ballet company and dancers and just the whole building and corporation in itself. And it was something that I realized that was a job, it was a career, and it took a lot of dedication. And at age 13 was when I realized that I really wanted to dedicate my time going to ballet and not going. I was born and raised in Hawaii, so I wasn't running off to the beach and, I was in ballet class really working for this career that I have now and I've been able to travel with and done so many wonderful performances. That's just kind of how it started.
So I think, if I may summarize for all three, you're all reasonably happy, all things considered, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let me run through some details and then I think we're done. Thank you very, very much. I know it's an agony to get you all together all at once after you've been rehearsing all day today. And also we do have the usual one now and again if we have some sound problems, but I think in the end the public out there, the Southern California audience primarily that watches this is going to get a strong message about a career in dance, about the life of State Street Ballet, about this production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, which is well worth coming up to see. And let me just repeat the info again. We have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs on Saturday evening, February 22nd. That's next weekend at 7:30 in the evening, and then the following Sunday, February 23rd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the really beautifully restored Lobero Theater. The acoustics are better, the seating is better. It's a marvelous room. And as everybody in Southern California knows, all the great restaurants are up here in Santa Barbara. So the idea of coming up from LA, getting out of all that mess up to the charming city of Santa Barbara, it's well worth it. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, State Street Ballet's production. All three, may I thank you very much for taking this big chance. We'll see some parts will be audible, some will not, but that's just the what do you call that? Something about throwing dice.
Yeah.
Many thanks to all three. Lots of fun. Great.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's
Bye.
Bye.